A stunning admission from the Trump administration. It admits in a court filing that a Maryland man was sent to the notorious El Salvadorian mega prison, all because of administrative error. And it argues there is no way to get him back.
Can I have it? That wasn't my question.
The problem is you don't write the truth. So, as far as I'm concerned, I want to go to the next.
Can I ask you a question about?
No, not CNN, please. Go ahead.
The White House has not responded to these allegations.
I told you. CNN is fake news. Don't talk to me. Go ahead, please.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. So I wanted to come on and talk about the latest nonsense that the mainstream media and the Democrats have decided to latch on to. Now, we already know how the mainstream liberal media and the Democrats feel about Trump deporting all those illegal immigrants down to that El Salvador prison. However, because of a clerical error that the Trump administration had admitted to, the Atlantic, yes, the same Atlantic that broke the Signal story, that Atlantic paper decided that they would take that and make a whole story out of a man that is a MS-13 gang member, has been arrested twice, was ordered to be deported. They made him the father of the year, and they also made this man an innocent bystander of Trump's bad administration practices, and he is an innocent prisoner down in El Salvador. You can't make this up. Watch CNN. Here we go.
A stunning admission from the Trump administration. It admits in a court filing that a Maryland man was sent to the notorious El Salvadorian mega prison, all because of administrative error. And it argues there is no way to get him back. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins our panel now. Can you just kind of back up? Yeah. What do we know about who this person is and whether or not he was the danger to America that the administration is now claiming he was?
This is a filing that came in late last night in a lawsuit over the removal of the Salvadoran national. What we know, according to court documents, is that he crossed into the U.S. around 2011. He had a brush with law enforcement that we see in these court documents in 2019 when local police department had approached him and a group of men who were loitering at a Maryland Home Depot. The police department said that he had ties to MS-13. When he was detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in that year, he went through immigration proceedings. Over the course of those proceedings, this alleged tie to MS-13 came up. According to the attorney, it was quite fruitless in getting additional information and evidence as to why he was being tied to this gang, other than the fact that the police department said it was because of a confidential informant and because of his attire at the moment that he was detained. Now, over the course of those immigration proceedings, again in 2019, an immigration judge granted what we call withholding of removal. What does that mean? That means that the government, cannot remove him to El Salvador for fear of persecution in that country. He is still removable to another country, but he cannot be sent to El Salvador. And if the federal government were to want to terminate that, they would have to go through an additional process in immigration court. So this man on the list, he gets arrested in March of this year and is detained by ICE. His wife, the last time she spoke with him, was the morning of those 3 deportation flights to El Salvador. And this court declaration provides a glimpse of what exactly was happening that day. There was a flight manifest, and as ICE was working through this flight manifest, they were pulling off names because of various reasons, they say. His name, therefore, was moving its way up on the list until ultimately he was put on this deportation flight to El Salvador.
So is that the quote-unquote clerical error that they claim?
Correct.
That it just moved up a list without anybody realizing?
And that is what the senior ICE official calls an administrative error, going on to say that Abrego Garcia, that's his last name, was removed from the U.S. to El Salvador. The senior ICE official says this was an oversight and the removal was carried out in good faith based on the existence of a final order of removal and Abrego Garcia's purported membership in MS-13. So the administration is maintaining that he has ties to MS-13. His attorney says that is not true. But the problem here for the attorneys, for the court, for the administration in these court documents is they can't get him back.
All right, so you guys just saw that. CNN really decided that they were going to go ahead and say that the Trump administration had made an administrative error and has sent this man, a father from the state of Maryland, down to El Salvador to this heinous prison on accident. And they're like, hey, we can't get him back. This is all a lie. When I tell you it's crazy, it's crazy. However, the press secretary for the White House decided that she was going to fight back and tell you exactly what this was and what the actual facts are, from the actual court documents. Watch this.
The error that you are referring to was a clerical error. It was an administrative error. The administration maintains the position that this individual who was deported to El Salvador and will not be returning to our country was a member of the brutal and vicious MS-13 gang. That is fact number one. Fact number two, we also have credible intelligence proving that this individual was involved in human trafficking. And fact number three, this individual was a member, actually a leader of the brutal MS-13 gang, which this president has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Fact number four is that foreign terrorists do not have legal protections in the United States of America anymore. And it is within the president's executive authority and power to deport these heinous individuals from American communities. It is a promise he campaigned on. It is a promise he is keeping. And every single person in this room should be grateful for that, considering especially MS-13 is very prevalent and prominent here in the District of Columbia, in Maryland, and in Virginia. And the president, the attorney general, everyone who has been involved in these operations is focused on eradicating these criminals and terrorists from our communities.
All right, so you guys just saw what Caroline Levitt had to say. She talked about MS-13 basically in the DMV area, how prevalent it is, how much they actually do in this area and outside of this area, and that the Trump administration maintains that this man was an MS-13 member, and it's even on the court documents. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this court document states the following. In March 2019, Mr. Garcia was served with a notice to appear for removal proceedings, charging him as inadmissible and as an alien presence in the United States without being admitted or paroled. This means that CP1 app, how they paroled all of those illegal immigrants, this man didn't have that, all right? This man wasn't here on asylum. This man was not here any type of legal way. And the attorney general at the time denied him a bond. Okay, Immigration and Customs said in this court document that he was an active member of criminal gang MS-13. Bond was denied. Mr. Garcia, and this is very important because the mainstream media, as you just heard, said what? That he was seeking asylum. Well, according to this document from the courts, it says Mr. Garcia then filed a I-589 application for asylum. Okay, that was after he had been arrested twice. That was after he was detained by ICE. Okay, and that was after an immigration judge decided that he was to be removed. And even with him filing, the immigration judge said the following. Although Mr. Garcia was found removable, the immigration judge granted him withholding of removal to El Salvador, okay? And that was ordered dated October 10th, 2019. So according to this document, the judge granted him the right to not go back to El Salvador, but they did not grant him asylum, okay? He was not granted asylum here in the United States, so he still was supposed to be removed. He just was not to be sent back to El Salvador, which is what the media is trying to make it seem like, that this man was here legally, rightfully, whatever you want to call it. He was not. However, Representative Raskins decided that he was going to use this for a political gain, and he decided to use the same exact talking points. And by all means, he never looked at the court documents because the court documents would have told him exactly what I just told you guys. But that never stopped a Democrat. Here's Representative Raskins doing what he does. Lie.
The chief judge of the District Court of the District of Columbia, who enjoined the mass roundup and deportation of immigrants to an infamous El Salvadoran prison in peacetime without any due process at all, allegedly under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, a statute explicitly limited to wartime and military invasion. Some of our colleagues have been railing against Judge Boasberg for ordering the planes to be turned around. They say those planes were filled with terrorists, I think my good friend from Texas said. Well, here's one person of many who wasn't a terrorist on that flight or a gangbanger. His name's Kilmer Garcia. He's a Marylander married to a U.S. citizen who has a 5-year-old son with autism. And he went to pick up his son, but he was picked up first by ICE. And then he was shackled and put on that airplane and shipped off to the torturers of El Salvador without ever having the benefit of those two most beautiful words in the English language, due process. He never saw a judge. Nobody ever told him what he was being charged for. Nobody ever told him that there were any charges against him. And he was sent to a mega prison run by the self-proclaimed dictator of El Salvador. And yesterday, you know what happened, Mr. Chairman? The Trump administration admitted that it had made a mistake. He was not actually a gangbanger. He was not a criminal. It was all a mistake. If there'd been due process, maybe that would have been determined, but there wasn't. But they put him on that plane in El Salvador. Well, all's well that ends well, right? No. The administration says there's nothing they can do about it now because he's no longer in U.S. custody. This guy who lives in my state, married to a U.S. citizen, with citizen children, he's stuck with the dictator of El Salvador.
All right, so you guys just heard Representative Raskins. Representative Raskins just decided that he was going to make up a story, tell you that this man was Father of the Year. He has an autistic child. He was doing that. He has U.S. citizen kids. He has this, that, and the third. Mind you, the man was found to be an illegal alien and that he should not be here and that he should be removed. The clerical error that the Trump administration was talking about was that he should not have been sent to El Salvador, but he was up for removal. The ICE judge said that he was to be removed. Just don't send him to El Salvador, being that he said that he wants to seek asylum after he was arrested twice and after ICE detained him, okay? He was just trying to stay here in the United States. That's it. That's all. That doesn't erase everything he's on record for doing, all right? And so that is the clerical error that the Trump administration is talking about. However, mainstream media, CNN, MSDNC, Representative Raskins, they're all going to say what they want to say because they're all Trump deranged and they're all going to use this to their benefit because they do not want to rid this country of illegal anything, all right? Because they think this works in their favor. When I tell you they like to keep these migrants in here because it gives them numbers and it gives them voters, they will do it. They're illegal. They're not following the Constitution and they want to derail Donald Trump any way they can by any means necessary. That's a fact. You guys get down in the comments and let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this whole thing of the Democrats, the mainstream media, Representative Raskins, and anybody who is on the left trying to make this gentleman seem like Father of the Year when really he's an illegal immigrant, an illegal alien who was ordered to be removed and who was an actual gang member. You guys get down in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's your girl, Mika, and I'm out.